Chapter 10 is a little bit more philosophical. It's going to be about why Bitcoin and a little bit of a look to the future. So I am going to jump into that right away. Did everybody sign that book? Are we good with that part? Okay. Okay, an introduction. Bitcoin is more than a currency. It's a revolution, restoring power to the people, offering a taste of peace and freedom in a world hungry for empowerment. That's from my first Bitcoin, Mi Primero. In this chapter, we'll summarize the lessons learned throughout the journey and discuss a few important questions and explore the future of Bitcoin. It's not just a technology, it's a type of network that powers a new form of money whose supply cannot be changed by any single party. Humanity has never had a form of money with fixed supply and no centralized control. If widely adopted, Bitcoin is a tool that unlocks a movement for positive change that can transform the lives of many people all over the world. It represents a peaceful revolution towards collective freedom and equity, opening up new opportunities for humanity by creating a shared global monetary system. As a decentralized global system, Bitcoin enables greater financial freedom, shifting power from the few to the many. It provides a secure, censorship-resistant platform for restoring and transferring value, empowering individuals to take control of their wealth and protect their purchasing power. This is especially important in today's uncertain economic climate where the traditional financial system is facing unprecedented challenges. I don't remember this video, I'm sorry. Oh, this is about CBDCs, that's right, okay. My favorite. It's 15 minutes, do we want to do that? Yeah, we're going to use this. Okay. And then that's basically it. Yeah, okay. So after this video, there's about 10 minutes left, and then we're going to wrap up and do the ceremony.
Bitcoin is worthless artificial gold.
You're not going to work? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Shorted if there was an easy way to do it. I think it's a scumball idea.
Bitcoin is the most superior monetary technology that has ever existed.
It's one of the crazier speculations on as a hard asset. It's a Bitcoin's hope.
The year is 1948. The world is in turmoil. There has been global devastation. Untold numbers of families from Europe, China, Russia, and elsewhere have lost nearly everything. Their factories, their real estate, their stores, their farms, their gold, their art, everything but their very lives. They escape, penniless to new lands. Amidst all this wreckage, with millions dead from World War II, there remain many millions more who must rebuild everything from the rubble. Yet, despite the turmoil, there is hope. There is the unceasing human spirit of creation. The survivors, our story's families, begin to rebuild. They teach their children this history. They warn of the dangers of tyrants that rise in the shadow of the collapse of money and property rights. But issuing warnings is all they can do. They have no defense against the return of tyranny and monetary debasement, should it happen again. The year is 2008. 60 years have passed. that more abundance exists now than ever before. Humanity is flourishing. Global information and trading networks unify the world. They far exceed anything that came before. Cities have been erected by the thousands. Billions live in comfort. Art is preserved and restored. Entrepreneurship is thriving. But not all is well. Our families observe the early signs of collapse, once again rising to cast their dark shadows. Banks suddenly fail across the globe. Governments step in to protect them. They utilize cheap debt and money printing. It comes at a cost. That cost is the principle of fairness. Once they start to drink from this chalice of easy money, governments and those who benefit cannot stop themselves from gorging upon it. They held themselves to hundreds of billions of dollars of unearned wealth. It is a looting that far exceeds any that came before. Meanwhile, quietly, in the dark and nearly deserted recesses of the information network that now spans the earth, a sole engineer toils to combine cryptographic functions and peer-to-peer technologies to invent something new, something which he hopes might someday serve as money that can never be looted or corrupted by governments, tyrants, thieves, or fools. The year is 2021. A cycle that leads to tyranny and war appears to be repeating. Money is debased. Governments take control of industries through mandates and decrees. International disputes upset a fragile balance where some nations became dependent on others for their necessities. A tyranny has become the largest exporter in the world. People are easily frightened into hysteria. Even within nations, divisiveness has reached record levels, even within families. There is a battle, but it is not a military conflict. It is not fought between nations. It is an undeclared war. It is war over property, wealth, power, and money. It is a war between this story's families who seek freedom and those who seek easy rewards at others' expense. Freedom requires living with the consequences of the actions one takes. Freedom requires risk-taking, setbacks, losses, and failures before achieving success. Freedom's opponents seek to avoid this work. They demand results without doing the needed work. This does not work. Every time this path is taken, it leads to tyranny. It is a dead end. Literally, it ends in death. Yet freedom's enemies now possess power in every nation on earth. They meddle in every industry. They promise to fix everything if everyone just obeys their orders. They demonize the disobedient and blame them for the world's problems. Once again, the world is in turmoil. Meanwhile, in relative obscurity, the something that was invented by that sole engineer and released into the world in 2009 is taking root and growing. Its mysterious maker has disappeared. This was part of his design. It is taking on a life of its own. Many families now see it as a source of shelter and protection from the turmoil they see happening around them. They are now using it to protect their wealth, their property, and freedom. The year is 2048. 100 years have passed since 1948. As happened then, many of the world's currencies collapsed. Many nations fell. Many forces dissolved. But, unlike 1948, it is not a time of poverty, of devastation, or of war. Instead, it is a time of abundance, creativity, and peace. Our families, who spent generations rebuilding since 1948, were not ruined this time, because their money did not collapse. Their money protected them, just as they had planned. It protected their property, their real 2009 was the key technology that prevented a repeat of the destructive tragedies of the 20th century. The people and families who embraced this incorruptible money were saved. They now engage in multi-generational enterprises which are taking human flourishing to new heights. Agriculture is revolutionized. Gone are the days where farmers are beholden to giant monopolies. Gone are unnecessary pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides. Gone is dead, dry dirt. Gone is low-nutrient food. Gone is the unsustainable, monocrop, unhealthy agriculture of the late 20th and early 21st century. Gone are antibiotics and hormones in livestock. Some of our families restored the land with an agriculture rich in diversity, grown on soil that has naturally regenerated. Livestock, formerly imprisoned in pens, now pastures freely on the plains, contributing to this regeneration. In just 20 years, the earth, the dirt, the land, the soil has healed. The food is delicious, it is nutritious, and it is produced ethically and sustainably. Other families revolutionized education. Gone are national curriculums which commanded that all children must learn the same material at the same age, at the same pace. Gone are costly yet worthless degrees. These are replaced with individualized instruction, allowing everyone to learn at their own speed. Each child focuses on their own towering strengths so they can spend their lives doing what they love and sharing their gifts and talents with others. Abundant and free education feeds everyone's minds whenever they are hungry for new knowledge. There is ample, beautiful, and practical housing throughout the world. Everyone has access to water, power, heat, internet, roadways, stores, and all the local cultural amenities. This too is thanks to the efforts of families whose wealth was protected by sound money. New manufacturing techniques and the elimination of bureaucracy have helped make housing accessible, but most importantly, the end of home price inflation driven by fractional reserve lending is gone. Housing is now affordable to billions. Land serves only as an employed commodity for residences or other productive endeavors, or as so much of it now is, to be preserved for nature as she pleases. The energy humanity uses has been revolutionized. Inexpensive, small, safe, and clean nuclear generators are deployed all over the world, providing nearly unlimited access to energy for all. Thanks to local energy production everywhere, gone are wars fought over it. This energy abundance exists because it pays to produce energy, since the world's money is earned and secured by energy itself. With defensible freedom, these families ushered in a second renaissance of art and culture. Art celebrating the human spirit of creativity and responsibility. Art exhibiting splendor, beauty, and intelligence. Art that represents civilization's new treasures. It is commissioned, protected, and preserved by those whose wealth is protected and preserved by sound money. This is an age of optimism, hope, creativity, and productivity. The world is building wealth that is no longer measured in the quantity of currency, since the amount of currency is hardly changing. What has wealth become? It is now the sustainable, expanding, uncorrupted productivity of all humanity, enjoyed by all. It is measured in the quality of life of all mankind. The year is 2109. 100 years have passed since the launch of Bitcoin. What began as an obscure project in an unknown place by an unknown person has changed the course of human history. The threat of tyranny arising from monetary debasement is gone. There are no economic crashes. There is sustainable abundance that itself regularly leaps forward thanks to the innovation of free people who combine humanity's cumulative knowledge with their own creativity. It propels mankind forward time and again. We are healthy, Our bodies are fit, our minds are sound. Our species is in harmony with nature and the earth. We are done with war. There is neither a reason to nor an ability to seize the wealth of a neighboring group of people. It is far more rewarding to visit them with love than with violence. Those that recognized and took action to protect their wealth for generations in the 2020s formed new dynasties. They create value for the ages. They teach their children the importance of hard, smart, and honest work. They protect the future by preserving the decentralization of Bitcoin. This will go on, undisturbed, for thousands of years.
All right. Get those lights. Thank you. All right. So I know that video was real emotional, right? Like real, like ideal situation in 20 years, 100 years. Take a lot to get there, I'm sure. And I think what it does kind of speak to, though, is it talked about how it can, and this is what I think it speaks to, is it boils down to the money. And that's kind of what Bitcoin is trying to fix, is the money. Whether you're talking about issues with higher education, how that costs, the cost of goods, the reason for wars, trying to accumulate natural resources, it always boils down to the money. You can pick your issue, and it probably boils down to the money. So with the food supply and the incentive for stuff like that, they mention agriculture and pesticide. Like, it gets crazy niche, but you can go that far and find the issue boiling down to money. So from that into CBDCs, we did talk a little bit about CBDCs. This is going to give another little brief discussion about it, so I'll kind of go through it quickly. They're digital versions of regular fiat money. Easy way to put it. CBDCs follow the same rules as regular fiat, where a central authority, like a government, can create more supply and thereby are capable of reducing people's purchasing power. CBDCs also grant governments new and potential tools to control how money is used by the people around the world. According to the Human Rights Foundation, 119 out of 193 governments are looking into testing or using CBDCs. What makes them different from regular fiat besides being digital? It's crucial to understand that unlike regular fiat money in the form of paper or coins, CBDCs let the government digitally watch and control every transaction globally. It means that the government can stop certain transactions or even freeze your whole account if they don't like you or how you're using your money. So for an example, imagine you want to send money to a family member in a country that needs help, but your local government rejects your transaction because they don't agree with that country's leader. Or picture going to the store to buy something you like, but you can't because you expressed your opinion on social media. CBDCs give governments unlimited power to control how money is used, limiting individuals' ability to spend money based on their own choice. Some even argue CBDCs would enable powerful governments to centrally enforce tyrannical policies on a global scale, at the flick of a switch without the need for human enforcement agents. CBDCs and Bitcoin are both digital, but beyond this commonality, they represent very different forms of money with distinct philosophies leading to varied outcomes. We went through these differences, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. We know the differences: Bitcoin limited, decentralized, open and permissionless. CBDC is the exact opposite. There's unlimited supply, there is a centralized authority, and all the risks that come associated with that. Censorship, privacy. So the reason for this is how it differentiates from what the philosophy of Bitcoin is. So in chapters 6 and 9, we discovered that individuals who run a node help keep Bitcoin's rules safe. It's a big difference. It's a big deal because the first time ever, people like us can be part of a team that ensures the rules of our monetary system are protected. The rules include the fact that there's only a limited amount of money and no one single party can change these rules. It's a unique opportunity for regular people to help keep our money secure and reliable. The philosophy is about empowerment, freedom, financial independence, critical thinking, and the concept that we should all have a say in the rules of the system we choose for ourselves. Unlike the fiat system controlled by powerful central parties, Bitcoin works on a network where no single party has all the control. It means, unlike types of money like CBDCs, no one can take your property from you or stop you from spending your money as you want. In the fiat world, having more wealth directly translates to having more influence and control. Contrastingly, Bitcoin operates in a way that's all about power to the people. It's like a team effort where everyone, no matter what, no matter how much money they have, they play a crucial role in the system. So imagine it as a collective force where your financial size doesn't automatically mean you control everything. Bitcoin is built on unchangeable rules, and in this harmony, it's as if humanity itself is in control of the system. It's not a few big shots calling the shots. It's all of us working together. Much like a resilient community guiding the course of Bitcoin without any single authority telling it what to do. While in the fiat system, the powerful dictate the rules, in the Bitcoin ecosystem, it's the collective strength of individuals that sustains the network. No single entity, regardless of wealth, can dictate the path of Bitcoin's ecosystem. It's an inversion of the traditional power dynamic where the resilience of the system lies not in the hands of few, but in the collective power of every participant. All right, so there's a little bit of a class discussion here. I want to ask a few questions. It's kind of going to encompass everything we've talked about throughout the course. And then it really is the end. Okay. Is money a human necessity and a human right? Necessity, I would think. Right? That's a good question, actually. Any thoughts on that? I would instinctually say yes as a right, just for the fact that we need a currency to be able to transact. We went through how bartering and using other currencies just didn't work as a system. We do need a means to transact, so I think that would kind of be a right. Any thoughts? What do you mean? I'm sorry?
That's what you were saying, it's like its own speech, money, or
No, I mean, I see what you mean. If you can't spend your money how you want, send it to who you want, or take your money with you to a new country, is it really yours and why? I don't think, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really work that way anyways. Like, I can't take dollars to Japan. I guess I could. Yeah.
The other thing is there are restrictions, you can't take more than $10,000 out of it.
Confiscated.
And then I have to rely on a third party or somebody to exchange, and then whatever implications that comes with. Why did barter stop being used? Kind of just hinted at that. What problems with double coincidence of wants, which is, we talked about that really early, but I think to that first question, barter is just not a form that is universal, was what we saw. I can't use my goats to exchange with everybody because not everybody wants a goat. And so if I want pineapples, milk, bread, and whatever else, like maybe 3 of them want my goats, but not everybody, so I'm going to be left out. Bartering just isn't, ideal, and it's not scalable, is what we saw. What historical event was the most impactful for you? Why is it important to understand the Nixon shock and its relevance for anyone today? So these questions are just all over the place. Any historical event that is impactful for someone, what is important to understand the Nixon shock and its relevance for everyone today?
Creature from Jekyll Island, 2008, what they showed.
2008, what they showed on the video. The Nixon shock, I think, is just, they're kind of referring to when the gold standard went away.
Temporarily,
Yeah.
it was temporary. I think more of the, maybe it's more of the consistency.
Consistency, yeah.
Consistent, same event over and over and over. The Nixon is shocked. That was the website. I don't know, somebody posted in the chat about
Something 1971.
WTF 1971.
What the fuck happened in 1971? Yeah.
So look at those charts. And I'm like,
Yeah, you get lost on that website for a minute, yeah. How is money with a fixed supply different from traditional fiat currencies?
Don't worry about inflation.
finite.
And no inflation, it's finite. And with Bitcoin, we have, a supply schedule. We know exactly how much Bitcoin is going to be available every day.
Less fungible.
Yeah, absolutely fungible.
They can't print things. They can't print all that.
Right. Yeah, that's written into the code.
In the future, when more people are using Bitcoin than right now, there's huge fluctuations in price. Eventually, the network will become a lot more stable once there's more and more people using it.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like,
A few people can just influence the price.
yeah, I think it's weird, but like it's to the saying we say a lot is we are early. It may not feel that way, but on a global level, like you're talking about, it's actually true.
Yeah.
When was Bitcoin created? By whom? What purpose? I think we could quiz anybody here, and they'd probably be able to say who created it. What year? 09, yeah. Yeah, could miss Satoshi, absolutely. Could very well be. What's the difference between custodial, non-custodial wallets? Yeah, who's got the key? Who's got the main key to the lock? Who's the one that is ultimately responsible? It boils down to being that easy, yes. What do you understand about the Lightning Network? What type of transactions would you use it for? So what would we use Lightning Network for? Ideally, most times, if everybody was accepting it.
Smaller day-to-day transactions.
Yeah. Yep, and we would use, on-chain for larger transactions. We would use those for our savings, cold storage, wallets type stuff. Why does running your own node support the network? Because you're one of many that has a copy of the entire core blockchain or Bitcoin core running. So like I said, it takes about a day, gets caught up to everything else, every transaction that's happened, and then you're running it yourself. So a cool analogy I always like thinking of is that people say like, what could shut down Bitcoin or what could stop it? If one person has power and is running a node, everybody else could be gone and lost power, but Bitcoin is still going to continue. When the power comes on for everybody else, their nodes start talking to that node that has the updated ledger, and everybody else is back online and gets the updated ledger as well. So, having your own node gives you a lot of power, and I think the course kind of outlined that. And there's ways that we can run nodes ourselves that are a lot easier now than they used to be. There's even like plug and play type things. How does having control over your own money empower you in your daily life and future planning?
I think the video had a good point about generational wealth, where if someone had just dollars, our grandparents, and they hand us a few $100 now, that's not to us what it was to them.
Right.
3 decades ago, 4 decades ago. But if we're handing this over to our kids' kids, it will be it'll be much more substantial for them by comparison.
Right, especially by comparison, and even going like from what we are experiencing now to what maybe our grandparents, like that $200 for them was a different story than it is for us now.
Their worth was based on gold.
It's true. At that point, it was based on a hard asset, yeah.
So it was a finite, and so now moving forward, trying to get that finite, it makes it more valuable before.
In what ways can financial freedom enhance your ability to contribute positively to your community or society? I mean, financial freedom gives you a lot of freedoms to help contribute positively to your community.
That video you showed, I think, really was impactful on showing just what money has done, or the fiat currency has done to mankind.
Yeah, like on every industry, every level.
Pretty
Yeah.
much every,
And
control this.
And having financial freedom, Bitcoin being able to produce that, Bitcoin fixes this, right? You could say that's almost anything. It's cliche and it's cringe sometimes, but it is kind of not a huge stretch at the same time. Okay, a couple more words here.
Bill, real quick, I just
Yeah.
want to add this because this is what it really meant to me on that. Whether ES goes through or not, what I appreciate so much just Bitcoin Club itself here in San Antonio is seeing more and more, especially like, I'll say younger folks, like just talking about finance, talking about the Federal Reserve, talking
Yeah.
about all that stuff. People waking up at a younger age, to me, that's very inspiring. It's very, again, if Bitcoin goes away completely, at least people are thinking about things maybe more agorism or
Yeah.
laissez-faire capitalism in a totally different way of what we've been taught in school growing up in most public school systems. And so, to me, it's a breath of fresh air just to have these conversations. So,
I like that it's geared as like it's education for kids, but I swear I don't know that kids how they're teaching this to elementary kids in El Salvador, because a lot of this is like, what? Nonetheless, like your point being,
We're in a very fast course, though.
yeah, but this is the same course that they're teaching down there. I feel like the youth, like you were saying, getting the high school, college kids who are already starting to think this way. They're already in the tech world. They born into stuff like this. They know how to interact with this. It's the perfect age group, and they're going to be the ones that reap the benefits in 50, 60, 70 years.
One of the slave system of what the United States told us, whereas El Salvador now.
Yeah, we're weird. Our age group is, yeah.
Well, see, I think when we were growing up, we were actually taught about money, and I don't think kids are taught about money like they are.
No, I would agree with that too, for sure.
So
Yeah.
it is kind of a which direction they go.
If this works, I need my charger.
That's really true. Like my niece, when she was 14, she was like, you know what? I don't want to work. I'm just gonna live with a roommate and pay her $20 a month, and like I'm sure that'll be fine. I was like, well, it's more than $20 a month to live somewhere, right? Like, you're joking, but she's very serious.
Only that would. Yeah, that was that easy.
Yeah, and I was like, well, where are you gonna get your $20 from? And it's just like, I don't know. It blows my mind. It's very blind.
Okay. Last push here. The benefits of Bitcoin, hyper-Bitcoinization might be a term we've heard or said here, but it's a theoretical future where Bitcoin becomes the dominant global monetary system. This would mean that Bitcoin would be used by everyone, everywhere, and for everything, from buying coffee to paying bills and even buying property. The growing interest in Bitcoin by individuals, businesses, countries, and governments highlight the potential impact of its widespread adoption on the economy and society. Here are some benefits of a hyper-Bitcoinized world. Self-sovereign future, a future where individuals worldwide have full control of their own digital identity and assets. This could lead to greater financial inclusion, freedom, privacy, and security, and thereby contribute to a heightened human flourishing, abundance, and overall happiness. A reliable store of value, we've talked about this, it's Bitcoin's digital scarcity. It makes it a reliable store of value, which could encourage more people to use it as a means of savings. Change in monetary policy. If Bitcoin were to become widely adopted, it could undo the ability of governments to control the money supply through traditional monetary policy tools. Mass adoption of Bitcoin would potentially increase people's purchasing power and encourage society to move toward a low time preference activities. Enhanced transparency and traceability. The tamper-proof and immutable record of all transactions on the blockchain could increase transparency and accountability in various industries and sectors. Currently, powerful entities have the ability to move trillions of dollars around the world without clear visibility into where these funds go or how they're utilized. By providing open and verifiable record of transactions, Bitcoin could ensure that the movement of capital becomes more accountable and accessible to the public. A revolution in the remittance market. The remittance market involves the transfer of funds from one party to another, often across international borders. Despite declining costs, remittances remain relatively expensive compared to domestic bank transfers, especially for smaller amounts. The Lightning Network offers a fast, low-cost transaction, making it well-suited for remittance market and addressing the high cost of other challenges associated with remittances, such as slow settlement and restriction on business hours. Abundant energy. There's a lot of affordable energy, societies do well. And many industries and communities can meet the increasing need for power in homes, businesses, and new technologies. Bitcoin mining incentivizes miners to use surplus energy, which would usually go to waste from sustainable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. Bitcoin miners use this surplus energy to create new Bitcoins through mining activities, secure the network, and offer excess energy they create back to the energy grid society uses when it's needed. Bitcoin is money. Money helps people communicate which activities, goods, and services are most important within a society. As we have seen this course, when money is controlled by centralized authorities, it will be manipulated. One of the mistakes humanity keeps repeating throughout history is manipulating money, which then negatively affects individuals, families, businesses, governments, and ultimately human prosperity. By taking the control of money out of the hands of centralized parties and instead using money with a fixed supply, which no single party can change, we create a different world where one where we don't have to trust that man will do the right thing, but rather one in which man is unable to do the wrong thing. This is a fundamentally different world. And you, dear student, can be part of creating this world. By using Bitcoin, running your own node, and helping your fellow humans learn about the future of money, you are voting for a different world. So, yeah, thank you. The questions we had at the beginning, I do want to get into getting the diplomas because I know it's already after 9. But anything that anybody wants to add that maybe from those questions, and we don't have to go through them all, but if something stands out to someone, those initial answers we had to these questions, why do we need money? What is money and who controls money? What gives money value? Those answers that we had after going through the course and maybe doing your own additional research, does anything stand out or change in how you thought about it before and after? A lot of you here have some experience with Bitcoin, or it's not brand new to you. So I'm curious if there is anything, but I guess more so this would be something that I think someone who's not familiar with Bitcoin as much would have an interesting answer for. All right, let's get to the fun part. Are we ready for that? Yeah, cool. All right, so what I'm gonna do is grab those, and kind of just gonna be random, and I'm just gonna call, come up, shake my hand. Oh, I gotta sign them? All right, let me sign them real quick. Yeah. Okay. Nah, just do it real quick. Oh, okay. Did you fill his out?
I don't know if I'm sure Bitcoin. What's the last name?
Donnie Birch.
I don't know if one is sort of Bitcoin or not, but I'll put one. There's one in there with that.
Okay. And sorry if I butcher some names, but I got it. Hold on one second. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Just gonna go from the top. Donnie Birch. I wish I had caps too. That'd be cool. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Alex. What's up, brother? Congratulations. Thank you for showing up so much, man. I appreciate it. Beck. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah. Daryl. What's up, Daryl? Thank you for showing up, Daryl. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. John. Oh, there you go. Wait, that might have been, was that the wrong John? Was that the right John? Yeah. Okay, sorry. Thomas. Thank you for showing up, man. Appreciate you, yeah. Crystal. The best. I didn't force her either. She wanted to go. Thank you, bro. Sir Bitcoin? My man. I was wondering who that's going to be. Thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, teacher.
Yeah. Kayla. What's up, girl? Thank you for showing up.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Geraldo. I don't know you by that name. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, yeah. Maria. Thank you guys for showing. Appreciate you. And Jonathan. There you go. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, this may not feel like much, but this is the first fucking class to happen in Texas, so I'm proud of you guys. Thank you for showing up.
Bitcoin is not asking for permission. We forgot to do that. And so we will proceed in banking the entire world without asking for anyone's permission. This protocol is now spreading. And if this one gets shut down, a 14-year-old with a copy of my book can rebuild it in a weekend in any programming language and launch it again with its new name. And again, and again, and again, until we succeed. The world is now connected. Finance is now an application, and money is a content type. Welcome to our new planet.